needs to do better in licensing football clubs. If they cannot do it, they have no business running football in this country. But is this just a job, or should we leave the licensing of football clubs to just the Ghana Football Association? Or must the government take a lead role in licensing sports and sporting entities in this country? That's a question that will be explored today. You also heard another MP suggest that the siting of beer bars close to stadia or sporting venues should be looked at again. Is that the cause of the issue? Because all around the world, they even sell the beer inside of the stadium. At halftime, people go and queue for beer. Is that the cause for what our football is at the moment? And then there are issues also to do with broadcast services and or the lack of it, if you like. The minister, the majority leader, Muhammad Ayarga, he revealed that the sports minister has taken a lead role to the extent that he's now already negotiating with SuperSport for the rights of the Ghana Premier League. This is what he said.
The minister is already holding meetings with the media to see how we can project sports. Indeed, he has revealed to me that he is looking to negotiate for SuperSports and others to begin to cover our local leagues. So the footballers themselves, when they see that their tournaments are covered on SuperSports, they know that a platform, a global platform is being provided them to showcase their skills so that scouts all over the world can view and then come and try and then recruit them to their various countries.
All right, so that is a that is the majority leader, Muhammad Ayarga. The government is already negotiating with SuperSport. While at you and the Star Times are also negotiating with the FA. Very interesting times. So we'll look at that issue as well. So that's that. So quite a lot of issues to talk about here on the show this afternoon. We will also look at the UEFA Champions League draw that has set up some very fascinating fixtures. And we are looking at fixtures that are extremely historical in nature. You've got Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid. You have got Benfica against Barcelona. You've got pairings that people believe are machinated and manipulated to have Real Madrid face off with Barcelona in the UEFA Champions League final. I don't know about that. But we will go into the Champions League draw and then look back on the midweek action from the round of 16 playoff where Kylian Mbappe stole the headlines with a hat-trick against Manchester City. And then, of course, we will also look at this weekend's run of fixtures, including a massively important game in the Premier League between Manchester City and Liverpool. So it's a packed show this afternoon. The show is proudly brought to you by Betway and Petrosol. And, of course, you can join the show. It's live on social media. On WhatsApp, the number is 055 1111997. Your thoughts on all of the issues we'll be talking about are welcome on that particular WhatsApp line, 055 1111997. If you prefer X or Twitter, just leave me a message. Use the hashtag GamePlan, and I will get back to you. We are streaming live on X Spaces video, so you can see us there. We are also streaming live on Facebook on the Joy 99.7 FM page, as well as on YouTube on the same handle. Today on the show as well is very special. I'm giving away official FC Basel jerseys, as many as 5 of them. So do stick with us. FC Basel were kind enough to send some jerseys down here, and we're giving 5 of them away on this show. We will give some away on another show on Sports Extra tomorrow morning on Joy Prime. Daniel Chia Musbah will be there. They will do some giveaways as well. But I'm giving away 5 FC Basel jerseys towards the end of the show. So do stick with us. I just ask you a simple question. And if you answer it correctly, I will give you a jersey. Okay, I'll give you a jersey, and I'll divide them between maybe phone calls and X, and then on WhatsApp. I think that will be fair, maybe, or maybe on Facebook as well. So we will see how we choose a winner from each of those platforms that you're using to listen to us here on the show. All right, the guys are here. Sitcho for Philip Achrim. Sicho, they're streaming on X Spaces. Show us your FC Basel jersey. I gave you one. Show it to me. They go on.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's original. It's right from the club, so you can feel it.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. And
it is. With the Novartis in front. Yeah. It looks very familiar. We've seen it in the Champions League multiple times.
Yep.
Who is the most iconic Ghanaian player associated with FC Basel? That goes to the three of you. Which Ghanaian player is most... there you go.
Samolinko, man.
Yeah. He had an amazing spell with them in the UEFA Champions League. There was one game they played against AS Roma. I will never forget. Nkum was man of the match. Right after the game, they pulled him for a doping test. He moved from Basel to the Ukrainian team. Dnipro Petrovsky.
Yeah.
And I remember that time he moved for around $10 million. And he came to Kumasi after the move in the summer. By the way, that was a very troubled move, wasn't it? He spelled there. There was one moment where he got substituted, took off his jersey. It was crazy. It was a very troubled move for him in Ukraine. But I remember
when there was a change in manager.
Yeah, it happened.
I think it was back when either one day Ramos left.
I don't know what's wrong with your microphone, Archie, but I'm struggling to hear you. But go on.
Yeah, but basically it was just a managerial change.
Okay.
That just threw a spanner in the works. But he had a very good start.
He did. And then, I remember he came for an interview in Kumasi, and then we asked him why he left the Champions League team, FC Basel at the time, to go to Ukraine. And I remember vividly his response at the time, who was doing the interview, Nati Bongo. Was doing it. That Nat, have you seen $10 million before? The question was answered.
Yeah, that's why when people say, why did the young referee choose to go to the Saudi Pro League? I'm like,
have you seen
$200,000 before?
Brother. So anyway, so FC Basel have given us some jerseys, so we're giving them away, of course, on the show. So do stick with us. But we've got a lot to cover. And then, okay, welcome to the show. Oh God. What's the meaning of this? Actually, welcome to the show.
It's good we have medical insurance.
Yeah, we do. It's good. It's good.
You see, I started.
It's good you have.
You see, I started. You know the fear.
All right, listen, guys. We have a lot to cover. Let's begin in Parliament, where the MPs made quite the show, the appearance on the floor of Parliament with various submissions from various MPs. Adongo, as usual, made the headlines. This time around, of course, he had nothing to do with Maguire, but he still had some very interesting things to say as far as the Ghana football is concerned. Notable among them, he says that the Ghana Football Association need to do better with licensing football clubs. And he says that if the Ghana Football Association cannot demonstrate that they are able to effectively license football clubs, then they have no business running football in this country, and that the government must then take over. I mean, that is an interesting perspective, because already we know that the Ghana Football Association has had a licensing regime in place for football clubs for as long as I can remember, for the better part of 10 years. And yet that hasn't solved the problem. So he says, and I want to quote him again, you heard him in the audio, but he says, I would like to call on you, talking to the speaker, to direct the Minister of Sports to take this matter very seriously. And if the GFA cannot follow rigorous protocols for licensing our football clubs and the football stadia, we should not be playing football as a country. Is that a good understanding of the situation, Sicho? Or you think that this is just playing to the gallery and blaming the FA unnecessarily, when the government has probably the biggest role to play in all of this matter?
I think it's a fair understanding of the situation, because the FA has got a responsibility because at the moment they are implementing the licensing. But I like what he says, that if the FA is incapable of doing it, then maybe then government has to take over. But I think that that role should actually have been reversed. The government should be taking over from day one, and the FA working with what the government has described as its policy, and which would have the government's licensing, and which would have the government's regulator of what sports should be in this country, narrowing down to football. So we have left the FA to decide what football is in this country, when it has to be the state that has to decide what sports or football is in this country, and how in turn how it is run in this country. So yeah, at the moment, with what we are running or what we are practicing in terms of football, there's a fair understanding to the point, and from the submission he made, he has a fair understanding of the issue. But I think that we need to reverse that the who runs what. For me, it's got to be from top to bottom as far as the sport is concerned. Government needs to set the tone. Government needs to run the sport. Government needs to be a regulator of the sport, because in every sector in this country there is a state regulator for education, for agric, for land and natural resources, for the energy sector, for the health sector. When it comes to sports, there seems to be no regulator for it in this country, and that is not an FA issue. That is a government problem, and that hasn't necessarily been the outgone administration's problem. It hasn't been the NDC before the MPP that left. It hasn't been the current NDC. It's just been Ghana's government, or Ghana's, if you like, the political class throughout its democratic period, sidestepping sports and overlooking the significance of sport to what it could contribute to its economy. So now there has to be, I'm happy they themselves are saying they are resetting the country. So now there has to be a reset of that thinking, and there has to be a reset of what we think of sports, because like I said, the FA in themselves have demonstrated in the last 5 years that they are not capable. And they are not capable because maybe they don't have the expertise, maybe they don't have the know-how, or maybe they are too selfish and greedy, and they are looking after themselves at the expense of the general good of the game. So government has to step in, because if you leave it to at the moment, we have individuals running Ghana football. We don't have any system running it. And if you go to any serious place, no individuals run it. Systems run these things. But how do you put systems in place? It has to be backed with policy and then cash injection. And I have a sense that one of the reasons why governments have always been running away from taking up this policy guidance and regulator is because of the cash aspect. So okay, so if we are saying we are regulating the sport, there's a side of it that the government need to make sure that they are putting in place. Key thing, infrastructure. Key thing, now Ghana, the government needs to some way somehow beef up, in fact, ambulance services, because now the ambulance services tell you, okay, hold on, if we really need to do what you're asking us to do, provide ambulances for every venue, we don't have the capacity to do that. So are you going to bring us more? Does that mean we are going to employ more ambulance drivers? Does that mean you're going to employ more people? What does it mean to the police service? Does it mean you now have to open a wing that is trained to cater for crowd? I heard the IGP saying that they need to straight away start training people for sports risk something. There's a word to use, which means at the moment the country doesn't have that. So if the government is taking the responsibility of,
the FA is collaborating with the Ghana Police Service, have CAF officials come and train some police officers selected for stadium security.
Yes, so at the moment it's not there.
No.
Now, but when that is done,
the next available date for any training that can be done is in September. Unless another country that had earlier put in a request withdraws, then Ghana can go into
before that, or should I say in the absence of that, we know there are CAF instructors here. A lot of them are listed with the Ghana Football Association. Those are people who, if the sports ministry were minded to, if the Ghana Football Association were minded to, you would not need CAF's approval to organize these training sessions, right, for the people who you want to train. That is, if your infrastructure accommodate that kind of skill set?
No, but that will depend, because I think the CAF also has segregated it. So there are people who do different things.
Yeah, that is,
for the
I'm saying
instructors.
that is sponsored by CAF.
Yes.
I'm saying that we have people at the level of CAF instructors in Ghana, Ghanaians.
Yes.
If the GFA wanted that skill set to be trained so that more and more people will have it, so that we'll use such people to run our football, be it for league games, FA Cup or national team matches. If the sports ministry wants us to have that, all they have to do is to facilitate and pay for that kind of skill to be taught.
Right. Okay, I get that. So what I'm saying is, the government has, I think that governments after governments have shied away from the responsibility, because in the end, if the government is going to bring its regulators to regulate Ghana sports, and also in doing so, making sure that match venues are safe, making sure that places where teams are going to be trained and playing are safe for fans and for the teams, then the government now would have to ask themselves if what the facility they are providing as government is even standard. And that is where the government knows very well they fall short. Because look, a lot of the municipal parks, right, that the DCs and MCs have to actually get in shape for sports to, it's not well kept. They are even they are worse than the ones that the clubs themselves have found money to put together to build.
True.
Accra Sports Stadium is dying. Kumasi Sports Stadium is not good enough. Cape Coast is dying. Tamale, Takrady. So the government, I think, are also shying away from that responsibility, because they know they've not done their job well in this conversation. Yeah. But in the end, it has to stop somewhere, and it has to restart somewhere. And I hope that the death of this young Kotoko fan, Pole, will give governments the urgency to know that they can't keep, allowing the FA to run the sports like they like, but they need to be regulators of the sports, and in doing so, they need to play their part by providing the barest minimum for safety measures in this country. Otherwise, we'll have all these conversations. And to be fair, some of the things I heard on the floor sounded like why don't people no issues? Like it feels like, and that is, but I can understand. It's a big house, and that is why they normally get the people who are well endowed in certain sectors to be part of the committees, the select committees, because it's understandable. People will be great in agriculture there. Yeah. People will be great in communication or health. So people will be great in sports. So when they form these committees, they are putting the best heads on these committees, and maybe that could be where the policies that we are talking about, the regulators that we are talking about, are going to be formed.
Danny, your thoughts on that? I mean, politicians, our MPs. I mean, some of the submissions, to be fair, like Sucho, you're absolutely correct. It tells me that they don't have a grasp and a good understanding of the range of the issues. And that's problematic, because a very good understanding and diagnosis of the problem forms a big part of the solutions. Yeah. The people who are supposed to be doing this don't seem to have great ideas about what the problem is. Then we are in deep trouble.
Yeah, that's where it starts from. Identifying the problem is where it starts from. And if you are the root cause of the problem, in fact, let me put it that way, identifying the root cause of the problem, that's where you start from. And I will not understand why a lawmaker will seem empty on a subject when he's making a presentation to Parliament. If you are going to make such a public statement, it goes through certain level of research. You do your proper work before you come out and speak. And again, I always say that is the result is what shows the competence of the committees. It's not their qualifications. When we put them together, they work. The results that they churn out as a committee, be it the committee in Parliament for sports, together with the sports ministry, the consistent results that they churn out every year is what shows their competence. Yeah. So unfortunately, what we are seeing right now is as a result of the incompetence of the previous committees and previous ministries, year on year, and we are here. And what we heard in Parliament this week, for me, is very discouraging. it's very discouraging because it feels like they are playing politics with the issue. And for me, it really disturbs me. This is and as Icho said, this is an opportunity for us to hit the reset button, go back to the roots and fix the problem. I don't, look, Ghanaians are not stupid though. Like, showing the Ghana Premier League or Super Sport is not going to let anybody watch. The thing is rubbish. Like, people live by the venues, they don't go. So why do you think if you put it on Super Sport, it's going to make them go? The thing was streaming for free on YouTube for the first half of the day. People are not watching. Like, the product itself has an issue.
You know the funniest thing? The fact that he said Ghana Premier League will soon be competing with EPL. It's almost as if he was... I'm talking about the Honorable Mahama Yarga. It's almost as if he was... what's the word I'm looking for? It's like he was bantering.
Yeah, it didn't sound...
It sounds like he was... It was a...
the
whole thing was a joke.
He's saying some. Yeah, he's saying some.
Why would you say that?
Like...
That doesn't reflect the reality on the ground. That's just disappointing.
See, to be frank, if you watch... I chanced upon a Zambian Premier League game on Super Sport. Charlie, Zambia, the quality of the pitch, how deliberate they were with advertising. Like, you can tell that it's a plan properly orchestrated. Like, they are doing the thing, Ankasa. It's not a joke. Like, they are not playing around. And what makes you think that Super Sport will want to show your league in this state? We always want to dance around the problem and try and find these grandiose quote-unquote solutions. They are not working because the thing itself has a problem. When you fix the thing, all this is like what? They say, seek ye first the kingdom of God.
All other things.
Fix the product.
And everything else will come.
People are not watching the Premier League because somebody has said that something. When you watch the thing, the drama, the storylines,
the look and feel of it,
everything is inside. So you watch. We are not watching Champions League because it's Champions League, so we are watching. The quality level attached to it. World Cup, the quality level attached. Charlie, so you can't play around. Look, back in the day, when Ghana Premier League they were not showing every game on TV.
No.
We were showing like 2 games a weekend.
Yes.
Those who couldn't go to the stadiums will sit in their houses and watch. The stadiums were full. There was quality attached to it. And it showed because at that time, Black Stars quality, Ghana Premier League quality, the same. And when I'm saying Black Stars quality, I'm talking about the players who were playing in Europe, the big leagues. If you look at who they were competing with in the national team, some of them were local players, top players, going all the way in CAF interclub competitions, like competing with the best. That is quality. So at that time, when you say we're going to put the thing on TV, people were fighting over broadcast rights. They were fighting over title sponsorships. That's because the product has quality. You can't go and take a poor quality product and come and beg somebody to bring their cameras to show that. No, but it's 2025. Football, look, the money that we are sitting on, this football, the money with the sit top. And you remember it was 2023, the FIFA transfer report.
Yes.
Ghana is in top 10. In this poor state we are in, we are in top 10 of countries that have the most transferred players. Like, people are...
We were number 1.
We're number 1. People are still coming to Ghana in terms of numbers.
Yes.
People are still coming to Ghana.
The value of the transfer wasn't a lot.
So ask yourself, Faint, if you're able to fix your grassroots, if you're able to fix the roots, imagine the amount of money that will be circulating in this economy. If 150 plus players are being transferred from Ghana to Europe every year with quality attached to them, they meet the standard, and they are now, the European clubs are now being forced to pay the standard fee for players in Ghana. Because you see that top 10 list, somebody has sold 36 players. But the 36 players, the accumulated transfer fee, it's like 3 times.
But like 50 times.
So I made a mistake. Like 50 times what Ghana has sold without 123 or 136 or 150. So there is potential here everybody can see it. Yet we are sitting on the thing and we are talking about super sport. If our super, I'll block the minute.
No, but I see. But you see, the super sports. Okay, again, the majority leader said that the sports minister is looking to have that conversation with them. But I'm thinking, again, Danny says, if
I don't think he said he's looking to.
No, he didn't say he is negotiating with them. He said he has told him that he is looking to negotiate with them. It's not like he started, right? So people, the quotes that have come out suggests that the minister is saying that he has started or negotiating, but that's not what the majority leader said. But the point again is, in 2025, they won't even broadcast the Ghana Premier League. Omuniska.
No, it won't happen.
Like even the big franchises that they have, they are doing everything to cut down costs.
Yeah.
And so you, as a country, I'm looking at maybe then the government should have been saying that okay, this is a game, you see, and then it measures it again. If football runs well, it runs an economy to a certain extent very well. If I'm government, I'm saying okay, how about helping GBC, right, to get enough facilities to broadcast? Because you are negotiating with Super Sports to come and then broadcast your Ghana Premier League. We know the problems Purpose have got, right? But the reason why he wants Purpose to come is simply because GBC at the moment are not equipped. But GBC is government. GBC is government, and the problem that has confronted GBC for all these years is simply perhaps lack of investment into modern day equipment and capacity to be able to do this. My thinking is the state of the Ghana Premier League at the moment, nobody should be paying to watch it.
On top of that,
At the moment,
nobody will be, and because nobody will be paying to watch,
Yes.
nobody is paying the FA money to come and produce it.
yes,
And Super Sport, that is the only implication. If the ministry is taking the lead in negotiating with Super Sport to come, are you telling them to come and sponsor, pay,
Yeah.
and broadcast,
broadcast,
or you are
or
telling them that you pay them?
you pay them to come in. That is the point.
Which is it?
Because Super Sports is not going to pay this FA or the FA to put the league. You see, if they put the Ghana Premier League on Super Sports, it will be the worst telecasted league on the platform. And I'm not.
But it wasn't 8 years ago in 2016-17 when Super Sport were broadcasting it.
No, but do you know we are getting? Do you know we are getting worse? No, that's the fact. Like
you've not realized.
10 years ago was better than now, and that is the problem.
What made it better?
10 years ago,
Yeah, was it the
Are you ready for that
no, hold on.
conversation?
Yet was it the attendance, the quality? Of
yeah,
the
attendance was
football,
better, quality of football was
or is it the
better.
quality of the
Even
facility?
the pitches were better, and that is shocking.
Why has it stopped raining?
It hasn't. But the pitches were newer,
The fertilizer money, they are chopping it.
bro. Like we are getting worse. Like that's the issue. And but look, if you watch Super Sports right now,
But no, but so if it tells about, do you know the number of Super Sport to have to do it as part of CSR? They have to look at it that way. They have subscribers here. We are paying them money every time. Why can't they pay to come and broadcast the Ghana Premier
they will
League?
take by shadows to go the deprived areas of the country go share.
That's not what we do. Contribute. To
You
them.
don't decide what they need. What you need.
We can decide. You know, governments can decide where CSR goes.
The government will take them a tax system.
No, government can decide for corporations.
I get
where
it.
the
But
CSR
what I'm
goes.
saying is, it's an opportunity. You see, the football thing, they check like, and I've said it before. That the thing, I understand this thing. The generation that is ruling now,
They don't understand it.
no, it's not their fault. When they were growing up,
It was leisure.
anybody who plays sports was not serious. Their parents wouldn't let them play sports. In school, if you played serious sports, a teacher will tell you feel you're not serious. So the people who are around the country now, most of them grew up seeing sportsmen
In that generation.
and they are really now.
Viewed sports as
They
a
viewed-
leisure thing.
They viewed it as leisure, and if not necessarily only leisure, but anybody who was attached to sports was not serious.
Including the journalists.
Oh, yeah, someone is serious.
Why he thought he was serious.
Like, who is serious? Who is serious? Like, a sports journalist. So that is there, bro.
Don't do that.
No, bro. I'm saying like those who are really those who are making the decisions now. That is what they grew up with. So when you see the way they even appoint these ministers, when you see the way they even vet them, in the more recent vetting, we saw it. Sports was like go. It was like he came to sit down. It was like go away.
Accra Mayor Accra go. Sorry, Accra Regional Minister Accra was go.
But when it came to finance, when it came to communication, when it came to agric, when it came to some some sectors. Defense. They
were important questions
because
environment.
Growing up, these are the people they saw as elite. Like you go to school to become a doctor, you're going to school to become a lawyer, you're going to school. So these are the things. But maybe
I also went to school to become who I am.
But when they were growing up, you were not part of the plan. So maybe because people they learn. And truly those days, friends, to wrap this one up, this point, truly those days, lots of the people who play sports were not serious. They didn't have the best grade. Listen, you have to be honest. They didn't have the best grade, but maybe our generation.
See, seriousness here is subjective.
No, I'm saying they didn't make some of them didn't make the best grades. Some of them didn't come to school with the right grades. They came because of sports.
So making good grades is one aspect of the school.
Yeah.
Being very good at the sport is another aspect.
In America, that be the LeBron.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That be the LeBron. Yeah. Whereas LeBron's classmates who were crocky 80s.
Wait. So the difference is.
So a conclusion that.
But Ghana, they were not.
This is very convenient scapegoating. The reason I stopped participating in sports at the secondary school.
Get hurt. That be letting you get hurt.
No. Actually, why?
Because I could not cope with being denied siesta. Having to go and train while my mates were.
You don't want to sacrifice. If you're a sportsman, you have to sacrifice it.
Your matter you were just lazy.
You want to sleep?
No, I wasn't. I'm saying to you.
Long distance runner, you want to sleep.
How do you expect the athlete to go and train while his colleagues are resting?
So this is the difference.
Hold on. But Asian did it.
I'm saying that
Samajan did it.
I'm saying that at some point, a lot of people will choose their books over that sacrifice.
Yeah, some too. If you are good in the sport,
but friends. So that's the next point. That's the next point.
Why can't you have a scenario where you check your schedule, right, and do it in a manner that allows those with interest in sports to be able to train and still have time to rest and study?
Okay.
No, so that's what I'm going to say. That you see, truth of the matter is that in serious countries, and you mentioned labor, you mentioned that in country that takes sports serious, the sport you play for the school is actually credit. So whereas you are having the siesta to go and study your science, that person who's been picked to play in the school team earns credit for being a sports person. We've not been able to add sports, right, as a curricula as a subject to the curricula and award sportsmen for their efforts.
But we've also lowered the grade requirements for sportsmen. You know that in this country, sportsmen are not required.
Entry. That is entry.
Yes.
That is entry.
Yeah, but even to stay in school, you don't need to continuously get the A's and just pass.
No. But at the end of the day, if I finish, if I'm done with university, it's cumulative. I'm accumulated grade.
Yes.
If sports is not giving me that, or even at the SHS level, if sports not giving me that, I'm able to go through. I'll go through Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, become a sports boy. But I can't go to maybe I can't go to KNUS, maybe I can't go to Legon. Okay. To reach certain courses because it hasn't been part of my grades. Right? So that's my point. Maybe our generation, when you are wasting time, you should go to Tumwembi. When you are MP and Danike be big boy and actually be a big boy, me have a businessman, I'll stay there. And you part big politicians, you people can now look at sports like this generation have seen it and make the decisions to go with it. Because the current generation of leaders there,
you're saying that there is an attitude that they've carried on from their generation.
They don't respect sports.
Yeah. Actually, I'll come to you very shortly. What I will do now is take a short break. When we come back, Achu's thoughts will be taken, and then I have some ideas about how the government can help the sports, especially when it comes to this whole stadium licensing and stadium security thing. Is a point that I partly made on Monday that I'll repeat here. And the government's role in this is absolutely crucial. You leave that to the Ghana Football Association alone, and these issues will keep repeating themselves. This is the Game Plan on 99.7 Joe FM. It's proudly brought to you by Petrosol, Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, and Betway, Get Way More. This break will be very brief, so do stick with us. We'll be right back.
We've come a long way, yet we never lose sight of our destination. That's why we prioritize progressive conversations on tourism, arts, and culture.
Kamna became a bigger artist after endorsing candidate Akufo-Addo.
Yes, most people in the creative industry are not buying cars with the music money.
If you want to be an MC, by all means do be an MC. By all means do pursue it.
We throw our spotlight on budding creatives, plus a music party by DJ Robert. Your favorite showbiz personalities also hang out with us.
What up, it's your star Kwame Eugene, Sweet Boy, Africa #1.
Hey, what up, people? My name is Kamido, aka Top Boy.
Ghana, I go by the name Abiana.
Wagwan, this be Black Hole representing for Kwame Dazi.
So make a date with us every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM for entertainment refined, truly defined. It's Showbiz A to Z with me, Kwame Dazi. Showbiz A to Z, your most authoritative entertainment talk show on radio.
St. Mary's Senior High School, Accra is celebrating 75 years. Join us for the 75th Speech and Prize Giving Day, co-hosted by the 2000 Year Group. Theme: Empowering Minds, Shaping Futures. 75 years of girl-child education in truth and virtue. Date: Saturday, 22nd February 2025. Time: 9 a.m. Venue: the school field. Distinguished guests are Chairperson Smorgan Ama Ochre, Advisor to the President of Afriism Bank. Keynote speaker Smorgan Jean Mensah, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana. Guest of honor, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Your host is the Headmistress of St. Mary's Senior High School, Miss Philomena Owusu Ansa. Let's unite and celebrate this historic milestone and contribute to the Legacy Project, refurbishment of the dining hall facility. St. Mary's, truth and virtue.
Welcome back. This is Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM. The show is proudly brought to you by Betway. And Betway is here asking if you're ready for way more chances to win with Betway. Every single day, you have the key to unlock 5 free spins on Mega Money Wheel, where you stand to win a massive 1 million Ghana cedis. And so what are you waiting for? You can log into betway.com.gh today and take your spin at all. Thanks to Betway, terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission. Bet the responsible way. Betway, get way more. The show is also sponsored by Petrosol Platinum Energy. Do you want to fill your tank and have your dreams energized? Then look no further. Drive straight to Petrosol now. We're celebrating 10 years of excellence. Petrosol, National Best Quality Awards winner, rewards you with the Energizing Dreams promo. What happens there? Well, 3 draws done already, 3 more to go. We don't share tricycles, motorbikes, TV sets, refrigerators, even fuel coupons. But the best part is 2 brand new Suzuki Espressos are waiting for 2 lucky winners. So rush to your nearest Petrosol station, fill your tank with quality fuel in full quantity, and enter the draw. This is your chance to win big. The promo ends on the 31st of March. That is the end of Ramadan, so you could be celebrating Eid al-Fitr with brand new car. Petrosol, energizing dreams. Let me also tell you about Better Malt. The clock strikes noon. You start to fantasize about lunch. It's been a busy day, so some hot wache would be perfect. But then again, some banku and pepper and fish too wouldn't be bad. Or maybe some rice and stew with some lovely, lovely, fully loaded Ghanaian salad by the side. Well, whatever's for lunch, we know the perfect beverage to make your lunchtime complete. Elevate your lunchtime experience with Better Malt and discover richness in every sip. It's crafted to perfection with the finest ingredients and fortified with vitamin C. Beta Malt injects a burst of richness into your day. So grab a bottle of Beta Malt and discover the rich taste of 100% true malt today. And if you're enjoying that Bitter Malt, I can tell you there's one more place you can enjoy that. That can be at the Airport City Holiday Inn, which is now called Palms by Eagles. They are offering a fresh, delightful experience. The newly improved hotel is ready to welcome you with unmatched hospitality in the heart of Ghana. So don't miss our Sunday brunch with assorted flavors at a discounted rate of 300 Ghana cedis. Buffet lunch for 300 Ghana cedis in Ghana here. There, it's a bargain. It's a big bargain. So come and experience elevated hospitality like never before at Palms by Eagle. Enjoy FM. Achutamaklo is here. Of course, as well as Sicho Fefele Vachrim and Daniel Cranton. They are my guests in studio. Big shout to Yao Sechi. The University of Ghana Corporate League is starting tonight. I'll take you through some of the fixtures a little later on the show. But actually, quick thoughts on some of the submissions from our MPs. I've got a lot to say on that topic, especially regarding what they can do to help with stadium safety and security and what have you. But Sicho, would you stop giggling? What's so funny?
Charlie's radio.
So stop giggling.
It's coming through the mic.
Because you share a mic with Achutamaklu.
But that one is a host problem. if you've called Achu to speak and you come me to a mic, my mic is on. Why do you blame me?
I mean, Gen Z answer. Gen Z answer will give
right. 05511111997. Listen, those of you on WhatsApp, you probably are interested in entering our jersey contest. Just send me a message. I'll take the first correct answer or the first two correct answers and then give out jerseys. Mention one guest we've had on this show. Okay, we've had this show since.
That's not the question. The question is, who is the greatest footballer of all time?
All time, yes. The answer is one.
What are you talking about?
The answer is only one person. You
simple
get
answer.
Wrong answer.
If you're an ardent listener of the show, you would know. One guest that, hold on. Okay. One guest that we've had on this show. We started in 2023 March. So one guest.
Somebody drop on.
Quick.
Somebody.
It dropped the room quick.
Actually.
Charlie.
So it's a speed test as well, right?
Yeah.
But multiple people will get it.
Bro, first
But 2 cents at the same time.
It doesn't matter. Don't worry.
Charlie, they're running from Zakumoro. He said Achu
is a guest.
I was a guest on this show before.
You know, guest.
I became.
No, he was a guest.
There's an answer.
It's a correct answer. She was a guest on this show before.
There's an easy
before
answer.
He became an employee.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
There's an easy answer that people will miss.
Yeah.
A shock.
Yeah. Actually.
So
anyway.
No, but it's no.
Also, no, hold on. So the same question goes to those who are listening to us on Twitter as well, right? On X. Mention one guest that we've had on this show. I'll choose the first correct answers and then give out the jerseys. And those of you on Facebook Live as well, Karim, on Facebook Live, drop a name of one guest that we've had on this show since we started the show, and I'll give you a jersey. And then I will open the phone lines and give out a jersey to someone who would be able to give me a correct answer. So the first person, the first few people to call. So that's how I'm going to give out the jersey. It's really simple. This is not some elective mass test.
Okay? Friends. What are you ask the question? Because somebody has won the jersey in my WhatsApp.
Give your jersey to the person.
No, the person is part of the competition.
We have WhatsApp number that the person is texting.
Wait, you tell them send a text. Let me tell you my answer. Okay, anyway, so they are listening at the Ministry of Sports and Recreation.
Okay.
Serena is listening.
Quick.
Serena answered quickly before he asked the question. That's Asamoah.
Quick.
So Serena, she's won. It's not my fault. It's here.
Did she send a message?
She sent it before Faye to ask it. Tell your time. Serena from the Ministry of Sports and Recreation.
Don't worry.
She sent the answer 113.
No problem. Listen.
113.
Listen to me. 113.
Yes.
On WhatsApp.
Yes.
The ones who are sending to our WhatsApp number are sending to on WhatsApp.
Yes.
WhatsApp has timestamps.
So we'll check the time. That's all.
Compare her time to the other people.
It's not difficult.
It's not.
Serena, you win. I'll bring your jersey to you. You spot them. Greetings to everybody at the Ministry of Sports and Recreation.
They say, please, the ones on X, make sure you add the hashtag game plan, or else we will not see your message. Okay, so add the hashtag game plan. One guest we've had on this show. You just give away Asamoah, but maybe nobody has tweeted yet. Maybe you go and tweet it. If you are the first person to tweet it, why not? You win. That's the whole point. It's also about speed, right?
Like you 113 you own.
Massa.
Quick, 113.
Actually, quick thoughts on the MP because we need to talk about Champions League and there's a lot to talk about there.
Charlie.
Yes.
This week,
hey, somebody said you're right. I think he's referring to Bobby, Robbie.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Guess on sports shoe.
What are you talking about? Achu, please go on with your submission. Muftar,
what time did the show start?
Muftar, there's no microphone for you, unfortunately.
No, do they hear me from your end?
They can't hear. Stop disrupting my show.
If the show hasn't started, how would someone be able to send an answer around that time?
He said 1:13. He lied. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. What a lie. Anyway, let's move on then.
So this weekend, if ever there was any indication that our ruling class,
yes,
and this cuts across the GFA and the sports ministry and the NSA, they have no idea what to do with sports in this country, our football. Everything that happened in Parliament is confirmation and proof of that.
Okay.
Because beyond the noise, beyond the public anger and everything else going on, in a well-run country where the officials actually know their job, what you would hear from them, beyond the messages of solidarity and all of the emotive niceness, what you would see from them is they will speak to existing social support systems and infrastructure that has already been laid in place, and then they would speak to where it has broken down and what solutions they are going to put in place. Unfortunately, what we have had this week in Parliament, and in fact in the entire episode, have been uneducated guesses, poorly researched takes, and sometimes statements that would have had more value if the people who made them were silent.
Okay. Really?
Yes. No, they shouldn't have. Because, look, and no matter what you say about the fact that there are people who are specialists in their chosen field, there's something that Daniel said that for me was instructive. When you are going to make a statement on the floor of Parliament on a matter that you are not an authority of, least you can do, you have media friends, you have consultants. There are consultants who are paid to think for this country at the sports ministry,
and they are actually research. They have research assistants
as well.
Yeah.
Talk to them. When there is a case involving the GFA's regulations, every one of us has a lawyer friend who is interested in football that we go to, because we are not educated on matters of law and we will not pretend to be. When there is a matter involving sports science, health and medicine, there is someone that we go to, corporate governance, because we do admit that we don't know it all. Unfortunately for Ghanaians, the people who run this country, the people who are in positions of power, don't know the job, and for whatever reason are not interested in working with the people who know. And you see, it is not a crime not to know, not to have all the solutions. Elsewhere, some of the people who head institutions probably have no relevant management experience in that field, but they have significant experience in other areas anyway. But because it's a management position and there is a whole support system in place, they will go there and they will deliver because their attitude is right, because the people in the right places there are competent. When I heard the stuff that they were talking about, I got heartbroken, because at this point, look, and this is how you get to know that all of the people making the statement on the floor of Parliament, they don't care about the Nana police stuff that has happened. They have not spoken to anyone remotely involved in the investigation. They have not spoken to anyone at the GFA. So the core issues that they could intervene, that they could take advantage of, and through the force of power that the people have rested with them, are remiss or are missing on them because they don't know the issues. I was speaking to one of the people who was investigating the criminal investigation, not the GFA investigation, right, of police murder. They raised key questions about even what happened during the match, about the stadium architecture. And what the person said was that they've realized that anyone at all can get up in this country and then they'll put up a sports facility without anyone
insisting on what specifications that facility is supposed to meet. Do you get me? Because at this point, one of the things we should have heard from the minority and the majority, but especially the sports ministry, because it is their job now. And by the way, why don't we have an NSA boss by now? Because at this point, the NSA boss should be able to tell us that based on what has happened, we are reviewing the license requirements for sports infrastructure in this country. That is independent of the club licensing regulations. Because
do they have a licensing regime of their own?
So that is if they had. If they don't, you need to tell us what you are going to introduce. Because one thing that the investigation has exposed, and I'm hoping that someday the GFA will be able to share their own reports, because they sent a DCOP there, right, to tell us what they had in that report and what it advises, because some of the things that they have to implement are beyond their remit.
Yeah,
it lies within the remit of the NSA and the sports ministry. An example is what I've mentioned. If tomorrow Mr. Cherami decides to build a football park, who has the authority to go to Mr. Cherami and tell him that the facility you have built cannot be used for any competitive game, even for recreational purposes? It cannot be approved because it poses safety and security hazards to its users, and that even for competitive sporting purposes, it does not meet the sporting requirements. When then the country decided to throw away, and that's the expression I'm going to use, because there was no sense in the way GNPC, Ghana Gas, went about building artificial pitches that posed safety and security threats to its users. There was nobody in this country who sat down, and when I say nobody, I'm talking about those in power, because some of us, there's nothing we can do. If listeners can't do anything about it, someone should have looked at that investment and thought, hang on a minute, if we are sinking tens of millions of dollars into football infrastructure, then maybe we need to ensure that it will be fit for purpose for Premier League matches, that those who use it can actually pay for it. So through that payment, you then get to maintain it. The one at Inasi, we had to bend rules just to ensure that that facility is admitted to host Premier League matches, because it was not fit for purpose for most of them. Last year, when the 2 years ago, when the deputy minister went to Morocco, he was crying that he had now been made aware that the artificial pitches we're building in Ghana were 10 years old. Like in terms of meeting the industry requirements, they were 10 years behind what China in 2003 or something. And I was like, bro, you are supposed to be a regulator. You are a deputy minister. So the fact that today, when this matter has happened, because those who were able to breach the inner perimeter at Nswatri, that is an issue that clearly sits with license and regulations. The fact that it is someone's private investment really doesn't matter, because if you go to Nigeria, South Africa, anywhere, any country where they regulate any events with public components, there are specifications that you have to meet. So as we sit here, we have heard from the sports minister, we have heard from the majority leader, we have heard from key members of the minority. And here's the thing, if you can't look at all of the people who we have heard from, they are the people, politicians, and Ghanaians generally believe that they are the future of this country. So when you talk about Samia Uku, he's viewed as one of the people who should grow into becoming a bigger boy and one of the shot callers in the NPP. Mama Yariga is majority leader. He's he's part of the present and the future of the NDC. Kofi Adams is sports minister. From none of these speeches have we had any direction. Look, I think we were discussing this privately about how some of the most profitable football institutions in Ghana do not pay taxes because they have found a loophole by registering as NGOs. And you know them. Some of them, they are our friends. You can't fault them because somebody has decided not to think, or the people who are entrusted with state power have decided not to think. So if there is no regulation, that will force these people to be proper football entities business entities that will pay taxes, that cannot be their fault. Today, when someone says they have set up an academy, who determines what qualifies as a sports academy? Because trust me, not everyone will have the foresight and even the resources to put together something like Right to Dream. They do robotics for their kids. And the last time we were running a story about, I think you did that interview, right? About the brilliant students, some of them who have gone on to Ivy League.
Of course.
Yes. Nobody is saying that every academy in Ghana has to be like Right to Dream Academy, but there needs to be a certain standardization. That has to come, that is a function and a consequence of thoughtful leadership. And that has to come from the sports ministry. Look, for me, I am very disappointed in how all of this has happened. I was hoping that at some point we were going to get something, right? I mean,
something concrete.
Something concrete about.
It almost sounded like, and this is to be fair, look, it almost sounded like the MPs were also there to complain like the rest of us.
Like the rest of us.
When they should be leading in terms of directing and action.
Because, like the rest of us. And you see, yesterday, Daniel and I were having a conversation about how today we are producing a lot of screen kids, right? Kids who really are not creative. By the structure of the society does not encourage them to play around. But where are the playgrounds?
Even if they wanted to.
If they wanted to.
Yeah, it's a problem. Listen, Achu, I have a few things to share to the government and the MPs whose research assistants probably didn't do a good job for them, or maybe they didn't even ask them to do.
Probably didn't even know that their bosses were going to speak about that.
But as a government, given how much we've gone through in terms of stadium disasters, including this latest incident, it is shocking that by this time, the government has no National Stadium Safety Committee, or that we don't have a licensing regime for our stadia or our football clubs. So I'm going to say this now. The Ministry of Youth and Sports, the government of Ghana, of course, we need to start now by drafting legislation for licensing football clubs in this country, and draft another legislation licensing stadium in this country. That has to happen now. We need licensing regimes for our football clubs and licensing regimes for our stadia. Let's do it now. Put heads together and do it now. That legislation will do a whole lot. It will cure a lot of the problems that Achu is talking about. It will solve the problem that Adongo, the Honorable Adongo, is complaining about, that the GFA cannot institute straight compliance protocols. That is because the Ghana Football Association, even though it has a licensing regime, the Ghana Football Association is an association, and the football clubs are members of that association. The ones who are left to implement those protocols are the ones who own these clubs. So how do you ask the policeman to police himself? So the GFA Exco put together the club licensing committee. The club licensing committee members go around the clubs to now license the clubs, which are owned by the members of the ESCO who put that committee together. Are you seeing the absurdness of the situation? And that is why we will continue to make excuses and make compromises so that the football continues. The Football Association, that same association, should not be allowed to license
itself
football clubs in this country, which include members of the public. Because the biggest participants in our football are the members of the public. So, as a result of that, the government needs to have a supervisory role over licensing of our football clubs. At the moment, they don't. So, when the licensing committee goes to Dawu and they see that the pitch is horrible and the inner perimeter is not good, and they come in and say, we are giving you provisional license, are they going to come down and boldly write that Keto Kreku's Dreams FC has been banned from using their stadium? So we make compromises for our own members. And that's what leads to what we need. Now, we definitely need a bigger boss, a father, a regulatory body premised on a legislation for licensing football clubs, so that the club licensing committee of Ghana is made up of some people from the FA, some people from the ministry, with clear guidelines on even range of enforcement actions. Because at the moment, the Ghana Football Association's enforcement actions, when it comes to club licensing, does not include certain things like prosecution. But if that legislation came from the government could have its own levels of enforcement actions. So, for example, they can begin with informal warning or prohibition notice or reduction in capacity, go all the way to cautions, and then prosecution of members for repeated offenses. We currently don't have that. So, as it stands now, there is no absolute form of punishment for stadium security issues in this country. Who are you punishing if a stadium disaster happens? On what legislation, what are you standing on to punish the people? You don't have a law on stadium security in this country. That has to be fixed. The new ministry has to do that immediately. The National Sports Authority should have been the authority in charge of all these things, but they're so powerless. So club licensing regime from the government, it has to happen. The Ghana Health Service can shut down a hospital for not complying with certain requirements. The Ministry of Health can do that, acting through the Ghana Health Service. GES shuts down schools. The Ministry of Youth and Sports, the NSA, cannot shut down a football club for not complying with certain regulations. First of all, which regulations? They don't have them. So what would you stand on to tell a football club that, like Achu said, that the stadium you have built, is not good, so you can't play a game there? What law are you using to do that? What regulation?
What metrics?
What metrics would become your measuring instrument? This is the problem we have in this country. That's the problem that the lawmakers should be aiming to fix. Not be telling us that they are negotiating with Super Sport to come in. If you put perfume over a smelly armpit, it will still smell.
Oh, are you sure?
Champ, I said if you have body odor, you spray perfume, you spray perfume, it will still smell.
You've reminded me of some quotes before.
You see, that's the thing. If you have body odor, you have to get rid of the body odor first before you apply the perfume. The perfume will not mask it though. It makes it worse. The smell of body odor and perfume together. Ouch!
Bad combo.
Oh, champion. And the
if you slap away the perfume be about to perfume then
tulali. You can't do that.
See, the prosecution bits that you mentioned.
You understand?
In the last few years, we have seen the English or the UK parliaments and then the FA at different times stopping takeovers because the owners or the proposed owners of those new owners did not meet the fit and proper test.
If anybody is coming in to buy a football club in Ghana,
or even sponsorship,
the Ghana government, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, has no legislation or regulation to vet the ownership. So literally anyone can come in here and do what and see, and we've seen it happen where people come and take over clubs on the promise of some big money that we haven't even vetted the source to ensure that there's sustainability, and then a few months down the line everything collapses.
The person withdraws their interest.
It shouldn't be. We should be protecting, and we need legislation to do that. So government has its role in all of that, and government's role in all of this is big. So we have to draft that legislation as a matter of urgency.
But
a stadium certification.
You know when I lost hope that they were going to? Before number 12, there was a landmark opportunity for us. The xylophone episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The xylophone episode.
A very good example.
That was an excellent opportunity for the government to come in and then say, you know what? We now have to institute some legislation to be able to vet any potential sponsor of our leagues, especially for organizations that hitherto did not have the kind of windfall they are promising to bring into our football.
Exactly.
Right? Even beyond that, there is a few years ago, there was someone who was fronting for some media conglomerate to say the
Hey, this matter. You don't know. Somebody Sheikh Tawfiq got sued for it. So I was going to say that that legislation will clearly define the roles of the various stakeholders. Because even as it stands now, if the club licensing committee goes to license a football stadium and say that this football stadium can host a game, and then something happens, and we find out that they compromise to allow that facility to host the match, which body holds that committee members responsible for relaxing the rules? There has to be a board in charge of that. So we need all these structures in place, and the government needs to do that now, and that's what our members of parliament need to be thinking about. Not
but I mean, I've told you that henceforth, as for the GFA, then so it's okay. But henceforth, every sporting problem in the country is government. Yes. Every sporting problem in the country is His Excellency John Mahama and the minister.
There's one thing we need to know: the people in parliament, they are not different from the people at the GFA.
In that they are all politicians.
Oh, bro! All it takes to get into parliament is money. Can you afford the cost of running the primaries? If you can. If you have the right political
it's not just money.
There is no special competence required to sit in parliament. And it manifests when they are talking. It showed itself in the.
Hold on.
Thanks.
You are now straying into.
I am not. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that be measured in your expectations.
No, what do you consider competence?
Well, you said no special. If you had said no special qualification,
yes,
I would agree with
you. But that's what I'm saying. The competence.
No special competence.
Yeah, competence is not the school, bro. No. People from this country have gone to school.
He knows what he's saying.
In the context of this conversation, the two are one and the same. In the context of the parliamentarians that we have seen, competence qualifications, they are one and the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Results, I said it earlier,
bro.
Results is what proves your competence or incompetence. It's not your qualification.
We have had very successful people in private life.
Have we not had competent people go into situations that or systems that have combined to make them ineffective
in parliament?
In fact,
this matter that we are talking
institution
about,
of parliament.
In this matter, let me answer. In this matter that we are talking about, what is the obstruction? What has stopped Samia Wuku? What has stopped Mahama Yarega, Kofi Adams, sports minister? What has stopped these people from doing their job? What is the obstruction?
They have to talk to some of us to tell them what they need to do.
Even that ultimately, the president's idea of what is important to him matters.
Yes,
big time. Like it matters big time, because all the things we are saying needs proper funding. It's not talk.
I agree.
And the president has to decide that sports is a priority. So you could have a minister who is competent. You could have MPs who are competent. And I've said the competence is broad. You don't need all your MPs to be competent in sports. You don't need all your MPs to be competent in every sector. The reason why they'll go into the select committees. But I'm saying that it doesn't matter who the sector minister is and the competence. If sports is not a priority
area
we don't see what's coming do with sports. It wasn't a matter of
you are expanding everything. I'm just saying to you that
it's a big issue. You can't silo it.
I'm just saying to you that Parliament has shown its hand by the stuff they've said, both opposition and government especially. If there were any proper ideas, I'm not talking about the implementation stage. At this point, it's your intentions that you communicate to us.
We should have heard all the brilliant ideas.
Look, it doesn't necessarily even need to be what the president wants. What is the cost of sharing your ideas?
Yeah.
How expensive?
So let's just know that you have a brilliant idea. Fantastic. Anyway, listen, guys. 055-111-1997. Your thoughts on the issues are also welcome. We are switching to UEFA Champions League now. The draw happened yesterday. Quite a lot of you have also been sending in your messages regarding the Asamoah one. Karim, please, would you select as the winners for me? The ones that got the answer quickest will get a jersey from me. The only ones left will be the phone calls. I'll do that before the end of the show. So we will get 2 winners on WhatsApp. We'll take 2 winners from X, and then we will take.
You already have one, so I'll do them as well.
Friend, and then we will take 2 winners from Facebook. So 2 from WhatsApp, 2 from X, 2 from Facebook. Hey, and
But
then
this is
2.
very unfair.
Hold on, and then 2 from the phone calls. The ones who are listening to us who would call.
So, Fence,
No, lawyer for the WhatsApp people. You started by saying send a text. So people sent it on WhatsApp. If they knew that the first 2 on Facebook,
yes,
they will go and say it.
I actually said it.
No,
I said Facebook.
You said the
No, you
Facebook
said send
later.
the text. The Facebook came later, and you also have to give we the members on the panel some power. People need to know that Sicho Day Joy Sports way you go do show.
You want protocol,
bro? That's the benefit. Sorry,
this is how corruption starts.
Were you the one of the people who was condemning Afeyo marking for asking for protocol?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
In the military place.
I didn't. I've never done that.
Okay.
It is proper.
But you like protocol?
No. Protocol is not a bad thing. If the person qualifies, you have the.
Listen, I've got thoughts from people, lots of people who are sharing their opinions on a lot of the issues that we are talking about here. Let me see if I can read a few messages before we go on. Wow, the message is plenty. All right, this one says, I'm excited to hear that the Ghana Premier League may be live on Super Sports soon. However, before that, I think Honorable Kofi Adams should first fix the GFA, reduce the number of Premier League teams to only 10, and restrict the league to only 5 approved and well-maintained pitches. He can do all this in the next 1 year while having his negotiations. This is Courage in Koruferdia. Courage, that's a very interesting point that you made there. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So, actually, there's a message here for you. Somebody says, don't run down Parliamentarian just because their sporting ideas don't meet your expectations. It's not fair. Francis in Medina sent us that particular message. And then this message says, why should anyone watch the Ghana Premier League? Commentaries on TV or even listening to radio is, you said, is a total embarrassment. All of you guys are the same, including Joy FM. Total mess. George from Malam Bawi sent us that message. George, we thank you, pa. Why? All right, I've got more messages here. A lot of you also answering questions on which guests we've had here on the show, and I can see clearly that there's one guest that's popular, one answer that is popular. But I wouldn't say it because I would need to take phone calls as well. So there's that. Nitojo in Tama says, Ghana sports make bazaar, no commitment, no planning. Interesting thoughts. I've got another message here. This one is from, who is that one from? Okay, hold on. For about a few years now, okay, let me just get it. For about a few years now, I've been campaigning against the club licensing board for their consistent show of incompetence in their work. Much bigger and well-resourced countries are playing a property organized 10 or 12 club league, well-funded and very competitive. Can the club licensing board function independently, separate from the FA? This is Aziz Idigoro in Tema Community 1, side 10. That's a very interesting message as well here that you've sent on the show. Achu?
To do that, you have to take that power from them.
Yeah, from the FA, you mean? Yeah, that's what he said. He said the club licensing board has to be independent of the FA,
yes.
Which is what I'm advocating. That if that was a board put together by the government and some members,
maybe with representation from the FA,
that would work. The current arrangement is simply why it's ineffective and inefficient, to be honest. Hello, friend. Why are teams from the same country meeting each other in the round of 16 of the Champions League? Good question to take us into the Champions League draw. And it happened earlier this morning. And it's thrown out some very interesting fixtures. And they've already divided the size of the draw. So teams know all their opponents all the way to the final. On the left side of the draw, you have Arsenal taking on PSV Eindhoven from the Netherlands. There's Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. The winner of Real Madrid Atletico will play the winner of Arsenal and PSV Eindhoven. Then you've got Paris Saint-Germain against Liverpool. And then you also have Aston Villa. Who are Aston Villa playing? Club Brugge. So Aston Villa up against Club Brugge. The winner of that tie will play the winner of Paris Saint-Germain against Liverpool. And then all the way to the final. Okay, on that side. Right, on the right side of the draw, you have Benfica against Barcelona. The winner of Benfica against Barcelona will play the winner of BVB, Borussia Dortmund, and Lille. Borussia Dortmund and Lille will play the winner of Benfica and Barcelona. And then you have two old rivals meeting, both from Germany. Bayern Munich against Leverkusen. The winner of that tie will play the winner of Inter Milan and Feyenoord. Feyenoord are in this stage of the Champions League for the first time in 25 years. You ask why the Champions League the round of 16 has countries playing each other. Well, they changed the format at the beginning of the season. So that whole idea of you not meeting members of your teams from your own country as early as the round of 16, that went out the window. The Champions League keeps making changes every year. Last year, they threw away the away goal rule. This year, they've thrown away the concept of two teams from the same country not meeting each other. It's just what it is. So Bayern Munich will play against Leverkusen. Real Madrid will play against Atletico Madrid. Guys, let's talk about the Champions League a bit, and we'll talk about the draw shortly. But Kylian Mbappe, what a performance from him! What a night! Listen, Pep Guardiola tried to do Pep things as usual. He benched Haaland. We thought he was going to do some magic. To be fair, City have been very poor this season, but still, that was a little underwhelming from them. Kylian Mbappe. Real Madrid, they signed big players for big nights like that.
Yeah, that's why they brought him in. It took him a while to be himself. And while many thought he was struggling, he was still getting the goals, but not the big goals. But now he's himself and he's getting the big goals. He scored against Barcelona in the Super Cup. Yes, they didn't win, but he was their best performer on the day. He got to go against Atletico Madrid. Then he got the very important equalizer against City at the Etihad. And then at the Bernabeu against City, it was an Mbappe show. I think it's the first real Mbappe show that the Madrid fans have seen since they brought him into the club. But like you said, Erling Haaland was injured, so yeah, I get why Pep wouldn't start him. He wasn't even fit enough to warm up, so yeah. But the point then is, City's teething problems were still, glaring for everybody to see. And for me, I thought City were going to be humble enough to go into that game and try and stay in the game for as long as possible, because they still got some quality in the team to pop up with just one goal. And all of a sudden I know they will score one goal, Madrid will do the drama, but at least give them something to think about. But they went in there to be City, they went in there to be expansive. But when you are trying to be expansive and trying to play the high line, you can't do that without putting pressure on the ball. And Asensio got a brilliant ball over the top, and that was it. As soon as Real Madrid got that early goal, there was no way back for City, because now City would have to be a lot more adventurous. And with the three front players, including Jude Bellingham, making it 4. For Real Madrid, when they get into the groove and when they get the space to run into, they will punish you, and they did punish them for that. Mbappe showed great composure for his second goal. I thought Bellingham finding Vinicius to Rodrigo, squeezing the ball through the legs of Kusanov, and then Mbappe's composure. That for me was the goal, because he could have struck the ball with his left foot. Vadio was actually trying to block a shot from the left foot of Mbappe. Mbappe had awareness to know that he could get a feint, so he just got the ball past him onto his stronger side. Had the opening, the goalkeeper saw he was going to go to the far side, squeeze the ball to the near side. Then he did a Cristiano Ronaldo goal for the third goal. And when Mbappe got the ball and dragged the ball with a step over, as soon as he did a step over and cut the ball into his left, straight away I had a full video clip
flashback
of the Ronaldo goal. So I didn't see the Mbappe finish, because my memory had replaced the Mbappe shot with the Ronaldo shot. So as soon as the ball hit the back of the net, I went to tell and say, guys, I've seen this goal scored by the GOAT, and even better, I went to look for the video. But I mean, that was an Mbappe night. Brilliant. And I like the fact that now Carlo has got Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius off the ball, willing to work. They are not pressing like all the big teams or the big pressers would do, but they're beginning to understand what it means to cut a passing lane, understand what it means to engage a player to get others to back up. And boy, Dani Ceballos, what a game he had on the night as well for Real Madrid.
And also the big boys are back. Rudiger is back.
Yeah.
I mean, and see, I saw a tweet, and it just was so spot on. Someone said, watching Real Madrid, they said this might sound weird, but watching Real Madrid reminds me of football.
Yeah, this is the football I grew up loving, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
unnecessary passing,
bro.
You understand? He said watching Real Madrid reminds me of football.
Watching football.
And the deeper you think about it, the more you feel like he has a point. I understand what
I get what he's saying, but I feel the same. But there's something about Real Madrid too that I picked up. Every season, they've got a player who was never part of the script stepping up when it matters.
Ceballos is this one.
Ceballos could be this season. Ceballos Asensio could be this season. Last season was Jose Lu and Lunin.
Yeah.
And when you go some seasons back, Lucas Vasquez got that moment for them. Yeah. And even Isco, he wasn't necessarily part of the 4-3-3, but in the season where they beat Juventus, Isco all of a sudden turned out to be an important part of the team in the second half. Yeah. And so this season is beginning to follow the same script again. And look, they're the team to beat.
Danica, we need to take the phone calls. Do you want to comment on the Mbappe show, or you want to talk about that rather naughty manhandling of Brest from Paris Saint-Germain?
Oh, that wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. On a more serious note, I even go where you want me to go. But look, PSG, they didn't try for their league. What do
you mean?
If I was the head of League 1, I would summon PSG to a meeting.
I explain.
You see, the League 1 for a very long time has been mocked for being a farmers league.
Right.
And it's something they know. If you remember last season when PSG reached the semi-final of the Champions League, they constantly were reminding everybody, is this what you call it? They are not farmers. It's something that obviously bothers them. So when you have the main points that everybody uses, PSG win all the time, they are miles ahead of everybody. And then you have this season where Brest surprisingly qualify for the Champions League. They do really well in the opening league phase, reach the playoff round, knockout round. You are leading them 3-0 on aggregate coming into the second leg. You score 1, you score 2, end it there for the face of the league. But right now you are empowering everybody, right? It's so obvious, right? 10-0, anybody can come to Liga and do anything that they want to do, because obviously aside PSG, everybody are shan, and it's not the best. 10-0 on aggregate, your own brothers, and what's that? They didn't try. I'm very disappointed.
Actually, I'll come to you on that Liverpool versus Man City game this weekend. But I've got a message here which says, Good afternoon, Joy Sports. If journalists, the mouthpiece of society, think they are the best people to rule this nation, what at all is barring them from standing to rule? What are they afraid of? They should come up and end our problems.
Wait, there's more coming.
It's some drop watch. I say, you people,
you wait for more. He's still typing. There's more coming.
Okay, let's see. All right, let me see. All right, I'm gonna announce the 2 winners on WhatsApp. Those who sent in their answers the quickest. This came in from. Okay, so this message came in from. What's his name? Stanley in Achimota at 2:15 p.m. Stanley, congratulations, you win yourself a jersey. And then the next one, Joe, your answer was Asamoah Gyan, so congratulations on that. Jan has been on this show, I think twice actually. And then there is this one, which also came in at 2:15. Your message came on top of Stanley's message, and you say Asamoah Gyan. That's Dale in Madrid. Now, Dale, you also win yourself a jersey. I wonder how we will get your jersey to you. On Twitter, the winners are Perlo OP. Congratulations.
Oh, by all means.
You also answered Asamoah Gyan. And then So Bed Pumaya, you also win yourself a jersey. You also answered Asamoah Gyan. On Facebook, Agbesi Bissell, congratulations. You win yourself a jersey. Felix Amo Mensa, you two answered the quickest, so congratulations to you. Let's see who answers the quickest on phone. I'm going to open the phone lines real quick, see who gets to answer that question real quickly. 055-111-1997. Which 2 people will call in first? 055-111-1997 and 0302-216-541. Anita, please send the calls through. I know the thing is blinking right now. So let's see which 2 people we will give those jerseys to. But actually, quick predictions on the Liverpool game.
Oh, Liverpool will win that game.
Yeah.
Liverpool will win that game.
Easily, eh?
Easily.
All right. Big shouts to Dinah.
Wait, which
Boating
Liverpool
from Man City.
Did you ask you?
Such a disrespectful
Yeah.
question on the Liverpool game. We are talking about 4 times. People are not serious.
All right, let's go to the phone lines now. Who is on the line?
Yeah, section this lawyer sitting from East Legon Hills.
East Legon Hills.
Yeah.
Mention one guest we've had in the show.
Obviously, as one, but there's one very consistent guest.
Who's that?
And that Sicho.
All right, thank you. Sicho, somebody said you have been a consistent guest, so you two are an answer. So you win yourself a jersey. Those of you that have won the jerseys, just come to the Joy FM front desk with identification and pick it up. You can also empower someone to pick it up for you if you don't want to drive all the way here. But I'm going to leave those jerseys at the front desk, okay? So that's 5 jerseys we're giving away. I think if there's no more call, we'll end it. So 2 on Facebook, actually 7, sorry. 2 on Facebook, 2 on WhatsApp, 2 on Twitter. We're just giving 1 away on phone call. But I think that's how we're going to end the show.
That's how you're going to end it. That's how you're going to end it.
not a guest.
No, he's not. And that's how we're going to end the show. Big shouts to my brother Charles, a Tongba fella as well. And I'm saying that get rid of the body odor before you apply the perfume. If you put the perfume on top of the body odor,
you spoil it.
Disaster! The show is proudly brought to you by of course, Betway and Patreon. We're very grateful for your support always. My name is Fentu Tahiru Fentu. This show will be available as a podcast. And by the way, the Legon Corporate League fixtures. Let me just go through them real quickly. Yeah, Sechi sent me those fixtures. All right, so it's starting tonight with the Union Ghana against College of Humanities. Then there's GFPC versus GFA. There's College of Health Sciences versus Telecel. And then there's College of Basic and Applied Sciences versus College of Education. The University of Ghana Corporate League is ongoing in earnest. My name is Fentu Tahiru Fentu. We're back again next Monday. Until then, do take care and bye-bye. Up next, of course, is the BBC World Service.
We didn't really